Hey everybody, welcome back. Michael Webb asked in the user comments to check out the Lightroom performance with the new M1 chip. Dive a little deeper here into the details. So that's what we are going to do now. I opened up one of the pictures here to undo some settings. And as you can see here, when I zoom in and pan around, that's super smooth. It's a 50 megabyte raw file, so fairly large, fairly complex data to process, but that doesn't really matter to the M1 chip. It's super smooth, there is no delay at all, and the picture stays crisp and sharp all the time, no matter where I zoom into this photo. Same for cropping, changing the aspect ratio, or just changing the frame here. It doesn't matter. It's super smooth. You immediately see the result. It just works and it's instant. I play around with the sliders here, and again, the results are immediately visible, no delays at all. And I think that's so important because if you are in a creative environment and you have your ideas that you want to try out, you don't want to wait seconds or minutes until you see the change. It has to happen immediately so that you can adjust it um, according to what you have in your mind and keep the creative workflow going. And if that's not the case, it will impede your performance and eventually also your result. So absolutely no delays here. Very smooth working. Even if you apply some of the optics correction like lens correction and chromatic aberration, those toggles, once they are switched, it's immediately happening. There is no delay. Um, Changing color filters, I mean, that's an easy task, so that's visible as well without any delay here. And I have to admit the iPad Pro 2018 model did a fairly good job here as well. I didn't really notice large issues here. So a little more sophisticated is the clone and stamp tool. I want to give the dog a third eye here, just as an exercise. And you can see I select the right brush size and I start placing my eye in the middle of the head, and it's immediately visible again. There is no delay. I chose the Apple Pencil for this task, so everything that's a little bit more pinpointing, I feel the Apple Pencil does a great job. And when I slide to the left or right to change size or feather settings, I once I leave the slider, I see the result immediately and in full resolution, which, as I mentioned earlier, for the creative workflow, I feel that's so important. And Lightroom, together with the M1 chip, does a wonderful job here. So uh, let's continue with the gradient. And again, when I place it on top of the nose and remove some of the um, saturation and increase the light, the brightness, this is happening without delay as expected. It's very smooth, very fast, just as you want it to be. Now, I guess we agree um, that this dog starts to look a little awkward, but I just wanted to show you how easy all these tools that are offered in Lightroom work with the M1 chip. So since the dog really looks pitiful, I go back to my version control and choose the former editing settings that I guess look a little better. And even now, if I zoom in and pan around, you see the quality is still wonderful. Now for exporting, I choose always the highest quality, which is 100% and largest available dimensions. It's the JPEG file format. And everything else is kind of left in the default setting. So let's see how that compares to the old iPad Pro 2018 model. So I'm back in Lightroom now, and on the left hand you have the iPad Pro 2021 screen, on the right hand it's the 2018 screen. And I opened about 180 pictures. Most of them are RAW files. Some of them are JPEGs, but that doesn't matter too much here for that exercise. Because what I want to do is I want to select them all and export them as JPEGs in the highest available quality, which is 100%, as we've shown you before, and just see which device is really faster. So I export them to my camera roll, and I press the buttons pretty much at the same time as you can see here in this video. And immediately the iPad Pro 2021 with the M1 chip takes the lead here. I'm a little bit fast forwarding now, so this is now 6 times the speed. I wish this was the real life speed, but it's not. So I just didn't want to bore you with a 10 or 20 minute long rendering. So what's definitely visible now is that the M1 chip is about twice as fast. Sometimes it's a little faster, sometimes it slows down a bit, but I would say you can say now you have 60 pictures and on the right side you have 30 pictures rendered. So the difference is about 2 times of the performance of the iPad Pro 2018 model. This is not surprising. I already did that kind of test yesterday, but with only about 18 or 20 pictures. And unfortunately, my iPad Pro 2021 had to download some of these pictures because they had not been stored locally on the device, which slowed it down. And I think the overall result was that it was around 1.7 or 1.8 times faster than the iPad Pro 2018. We see the exact pattern again. This time everything is stored locally. I made sure I don't repeat my mistake. And it's basically twice as fast now. So without the need of downloading the pictures, the situation is fair. And the M1 chip can fully churn through the data here. And that's exactly what's happening. So I guess this is a nice demo of how powerful this new M1 chip is. The old one from the iPad Pro was already really good, and here we are. So the export is has finished. There's a little pop-up that will show up in a few seconds. It's still copying some data to the SSD. And the rendering on the iPad Pro is still ongoing. Another thing that you will notice is it wasn't only faster, but it also saved some of my battery, because I started on the iPad Pro 2021 with about 97% battery, and now it's down to 90%. So technically, I'm done now. I could finish the work here and have 90% battery left. While my iPad Pro 2018 keeps performing and has to render the remaining pictures. And you will see on the right top corner, the battery is being drained more and more, right? Because it still is rendering, it still is working compared to the 2021 model. And that's taking its toll. So while a 2 times improvement of the rendering time is nice, it's certainly not game-changing, but the fact that you also save a lot of battery power, I guess makes it a really nice a really nice update. So you see my iPad Pro 2021 was finished in about 13, 14 minutes. And yeah, as I said, it costed 7% of battery. The iPad Pro already lost about 10% now of the battery. It started at 95% and it's still not finished. And keep in mind here, this is 6 times as fast as it's in real world. So the 30 minutes and 30 seconds that I posted here in this video, that's the real world speed, and what you see here in this video is fast forwarded. Now the 2018 model is finishing up as well. Let's wait until it copied the files over to the SSD or cleans up the cache or whatever happens here until the pop-up shows up with successfully converted. And we will see the conversion time, the rendering time is pretty much double the 30 minutes. So we finish in around 24 minutes and overall have a battery drain of 13%. So for me, that's a wonderful improvement. And I would like to know if you experience the M1 performance upgrade in your real life workflow. Tell me what you think about it. Leave some comments. If you want me to test other things, just let me know and give me a like and have a great day.